Hello everybody and welcome to Car Confections. Now as you can see, we are sitting in our all-new long-term 2025 Toyota Camry XSE, and in today's video we're going to be discussing our real-world city fuel economy. So let's go ahead and get into it.
So you might have already seen kind of part one in essence, that we did a highway fuel economy test on this Camry. We were very impressed by the results we got. They were very, very close, actually identical really to the EPA estimated rating. But we wanted to know, does the same thing apply to the city? So as promised, we have been testing that out over the past about 2 weeks. We have kept this Toyota Camry exclusively in the city limits, driving it only in the city to make sure that we test it out and get you a accurate real world example of what that fuel economy you could expect from this Camry hybrid is going to be.
Now, pulling out the sticker, we are rated actually at 48 city for this specific example. Now, certain versions of the Camry can get up to 51 miles per gallon combined, but since we have the XSE front-wheel drive, we're rated at 48 city, 47 highway, 47 combined. So we're actually supposed to do a little bit better in the city.
So like Mason said, this is basically the final part, or the final leg of the trip. It's going to take us to just about 400 miles of driving in the city exclusively. We are still on, one tank of gas, obviously, because this is quite fuel efficient.
And right now, sitting, in this traffic on this current trip, the car is saying that we're sitting at about 38.5 miles per gallon. So it's going to be a very interesting fill up so we can manually see what fuel economy we've been getting over all of these trips that we've been doing in the city. So let's get to it. All right, we just filled up at the gas station and we have the final numbers are in. So let's go ahead and dive into what our fuel economy has been in exclusive city driving. Now, the total amount of miles that we drove, we just calculated was 401 miles, and that was over a period of around 2 weeks or so, exclusive city driving. Now, if we go into the car menu, that's where we're going to be able to find our fuel economy. And as you can see on the screen right here, what the car is saying since our last reset, which we reset everything before we started the city portion, it says 47.1. But that's a car-rated fuel economy. Now, what we do and why we went to the gas station and took all of the numbers is we want to manually calculate to see the exact amount of fuel that went in and out of the vehicle.
Now that exact amount of fuel is on the display right now, about 9.2 gallons.
Yeah, it's 9.265 gallons of gas. So this is not, too difficult to math, but follow with me here. We drove 401 miles of city driving and it took 9.265 gallons of gas. So 401 divided by 9.265 gallons of gas. And our manually calculated fuel economy figure is going to be sitting at, drum roll please, 43.28 miles per gallon. It's not quite what it's supposed to be, is it, Drew?
No.
Or what that says.
It's also a little behind what the car is saying. So
it's Toyota fudging the numbers.
Yeah, they might have gave us a little bit of an optimistic number on board, seems like.
Yeah, that's why many times we do actually get the manually calculated fuel economy figure, is because the car will sometimes read above or below, sometimes significantly, so that's about 4 MPG difference. And as far as what the EPA says, they say this car is rated at 48 miles per gallon combined, so that's significantly lower. Now, I do want to point out, for those of you that may not have watched part one of our, Camry fuel economy test, test, the highway portion. We did wait till we have over 1,000 miles on this vehicle, so it has been broken in, so it's not like a brand new unit right off the dealership lot. We have broke this vehicle in, so it should be getting that EPA estimated number.
Now, of course, that means we did hit the EPA estimate on the highway. We missed it by a bit here in the city. And we were kind of reflecting on why that could be. And we have a little bit of an idea of why that might be. Mason, you want to kind of explain what you think?
Yeah, so like we said, we conducted this test over about a 2-week period. So this is what the average buyer of a Camry would do. You know, if you lived in the city, you're commuting back and forth to work, you don't do a lot of highway driving. This is really kind of mimicking what your daily life would be over a tank of gas. So you'd get in the car, drive it for 10 miles, then drive it somewhere else for 5 miles, then drive somewhere else for 10 miles. And what we noticed over trips like that and over the 2-week period is that the shorter the trip, the worse the fuel economy would be, at least what the car was saying. So, and it makes sense because in a hybrid vehicle, when the engine is not warmed up, it does actually kind of stay on until the engine is fully warmed up before it will, start switching on and off in the battery power. So the shorter the trip, we noticed way worse the fuel economy.
Right, and I do believe the Toyota system seems like it needs to charge up the battery a little bit as you first start off your trip. So I noticed, like, if I get into the vehicle and I maybe come to a stop at the first couple red lights or something like that, the engine will actually stay running, and you'd think for sure, if I'm at a stop, the engine should definitely be off. But in some cases, when you first start that trip, the engine will stay running because it's recharging the battery pack for later on in the trip. So basically, as the trip kind of prolongs, the fuel economy keeps ramping up. Even though you're driving in roughly the same conditions, the hybrid system is fully charged up and ready to rock and roll and be in its most efficient state.
Yeah, and what we noticed across a couple of the trips is that it would actually exceed, at least rated by the car, well past 48 miles per gallon the more you drove it. If you had like almost an hour-long city commute on a heavily trafficked day, it was getting like 55, even 60 miles a gallon. I took a picture of it, at least what the car said, 60 MPG on one of the trips that I was on. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to buy a 2025 Camry. I believe that's how the hybrid system is going to work. So if you're using it, short trip here and there, you're probably actually going to be sitting quite a bit below what the EPA is saying. And guys, I think that's where we're going to leave off on this city fuel economy test. Now, of course, we have a ton of other Camry content. If you're at all interested in this vehicle, go ahead and check out all the other Camry videos we have, including that highway fuel economy test. You'll want to see, how this vehicle performs on the highway. We do have that live on the channel, as well as stuff like night reviews and full-length YouTube reviews as well.
And, we did actually forget to get our combined rating, though.
Yeah.
So our car Confections combined rating is, of course, going to be those two figures, and we're going to divide by 2, and we're going to say that's 45 MPG. That's our real-world experience for our combined fuel economy test.
Yeah. It's not bad fuel economy at all. I'm a little disappointed by the city figure, but overall, this is still getting exceptionally good fuel economy. Now, if you're looking to buy a Toyota Camry or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, the reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. And that's it for this video. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. I promise you won't regret it. And if you are already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.